6 people die as a migrant boat sinks in the Channel. Dozens more, including women and children, are pulled alive from the sea. Tonight, demands grow for a new approach to stopping the small boats.
Russo!
Also tonight, World Cup comeback. The Lionesses march into the semi-finals after battling to beat Colombia.
They can do it. They can go all the way.
They can.
We know it.
We'll be here. We'll be here.
Yeah.
Anger grows in Maui as some say they had no warning from the authorities that the wildfires were coming. And just hours after leaving Tottenham, Harry Kane starts his new job, but the silverware still eludes him.
This is ITV News with Yasmin Bodalbhai.
Good evening. 6 people have died after a small boat carrying migrants sank in the Channel. British and French lifeboats rescued around 50 others. Charities have criticised the government and said deaths like these are preventable but have almost become inevitable. Downing Street said today's tragedy shows the extreme dangers of small boat crossings and the need, they say, to break the people smugglers' business model. Our political correspondent Tom Sheldrick reports.
After a major search and rescue operation from both sides of the Channel, some of the survivors were brought to safety in Dover this morning. They had witnessed 6 fellow small boat passengers drowning. A member of the French rescue team said it happened because the boats are loaded with so many people that they can't move. The last boat was too full. Many of those on board were believed to have come from Afghanistan, according to reports in the French press. France's maritime minister described it as a terrible human tragedy with criminal traffickers responsible. Ministers here have also, though, been strongly criticised by refugee charities.
The news today is just absolutely tragic and heartbreaking, and more so because we know that it was preventable, and we know that if the government had invested in safe and legal routes for people to be able to claim asylum, then this wouldn't have happened.
The government have described the deaths as devastating and said our thoughts are with the victims' families and friends at this time. This incident is sadly another reminder of the extreme dangers of crossing the Channel in small boats and how vital it is that we break the people smugglers' business model and stop the boats. Ministers have been trying to focus on that key pledge this week. The first migrants were moved onto this accommodation barge in Dorset, but then moved off again yesterday due to fears over Legionnaire's disease. That barge is meant to be a key deterrent to try to reduce illegal migration. According to the Home Office, more than 1,000 people were detected crossing the Channel in small boats on Thursday and Friday this week. And more than 100,000 migrants have now crossed since current records began in January 2018. And even today, in the hours after this tragedy, they kept coming. More people brought ashore here, having risked their lives to get to the UK. Tom Sheldrick, ITV News in Dover.
England's women are through to the World Cup semi-final. They'll play Australia on Wednesday for a place in the final after beating Colombia 2-1 today. But it wasn't easy. Our sports editor Steve Scott has all the action from Sydney.
The Lionesses' mission tonight to quell the Colombian carnival, to stifle South American spirit and to take another substantial stride towards the ultimate prize. Outnumbered but determined to be heard, England's followers were stoically upbeat.
I think they can do it. I believe in them, I really do.
They're going to win the World Cup!
After a number of underwhelming performances so far, could the Lionesses deliver what they promised was bursting to get out, namely a knockout show to get you out of your seat? On big nights, an early goal always settles nerves. England, booed with every touch, were first to threaten.
Russo!
But Alessia Russo's power and precision was lacking. It wasn't just the crowd giving the Lionesses a hard time, as Lauren Hemp soon found out.
Oh, and that's a big challenge.
Rachel Daly was next to set Colombian hearts racing, but again, the final moment not decisive enough.
Daly's there! Oh, what a chance!
Daly so nearly made amends from distance.
She does!
England were getting closer, but for all their possession, there was nothing to show for it. And boy did that come back to haunt them. Lacey Santos wriggled free and took the usually impeccable Mary Earps by complete surprise.
Santos will try a catch! Up down, that's exactly what she's done!
That setback energised England, Russo's persistence causing havoc and Hemp pouncing to level it at the halfway mark.
And England are level! Lauren Hemp puts it in!
When England played at pace, the Colombians looked far less comfortable. Georgia Stanway spotted the ever-willing, hard-running and tireless Russo charging into the danger zone.
Russo!
The Lionesses were back in control. If Earps was caught napping for Colombia's first, she certainly had a hand in preventing them getting a second. A very strong hand.
Oh, she had a go!
There were a few nerves and several jitters as the clock ticked down, but the Lionesses held on and are now one giant step closer to that elusive prize.
Buzzing, semi-final of a World Cup, I think. We're keeping the dream alive.
I'm so proud of the team, how we find a way to keep that score, to win that final duels there. And we just hope we keep the ball a little better. We could have finished it a little earlier.
Fans who've believed from match one that the trophy has England's name on it grow more confident with every game.
They can do it. They can go all the way.
They can.
We know it. We know
We'll
it.
be here. We'll be here.
Yeah.
The Three Lions.
The Lionesses' win tonight means they'll be back here again next week in a World Cup semi-final, their third successive World Cup semi-final. Their record since they came to Australia is played 5 and won 5. Next up is Australia, who have the pressure of being hosts and also who must be physically and emotionally exhausted after a marathon penalty shootout earlier. A clash of two old rivals which promises to be a memorable night. Steve Scott, ITV News, Sydney.
80 people are now known to have died after wildfires engulfed the Hawaiian island of Maui. Many more are still missing. Estimates also suggest that more than 80% of homes have been destroyed. So it's not surprising that there seems to be growing anger at what some people say was a total lack of warning by officials of the impending danger. Andrew Misra reports.
Life on Maui has ground to a halt. Wildfires rip through the Hawaiian island. Most of the former capital, Lahaina, has been destroyed. Some residents have been allowed to return. Many more want to follow, determined their historic town won't itself be consigned to history.
We're strong. We're strong. We all will come back together.
People are asking if I want to fly somewhere, and why would I leave? This is my home, and these are my people, and this is where I need to be. So we're going to do what we can to rebuild it, and it'll be back, and it'll be bigger, and it'll be stronger than ever before.
The rebuild could cost more than $5 billion, so that determination will be needed. It's matched by anger, though, directed towards authorities. The state's worst ever natural disaster took most by surprise.
Usually they put on the hurricane sirens or they do something to warn us. Nothing, everyone was just word of mouth evacuating.
Hawaii's Attorney General's now launched an inquiry into why warning systems failed. Local politicians accept errors were made.
It's not like hurricane force winds are unknown to Hawaii, or dry brush or red flag conditions. We underestimated the lethality, the quickness of fire. And in this situation, we have got to make sure that we do better.
Right now, though, people here need aid, and plenty of it. With many residents still unaccounted for, it seems almost inevitable that the death toll will rise further. Andrew Mesra, ITV News.
Well, our correspondent Peter Smith is on Maui and has seen for himself what the fires have done to the island and its people.
Well, this is where we can see the damage done by these fires on Maui and Hawaiian Islands. People's homes now reduced to ashes. The remnants of a living room, a kitchen over there, someone's burnt out car. And you can also hear that this is an operation that's still very much ongoing, because that sound is the noise of a helicopter coming overhead. They're still dropping water on the hillside. There's still smoke billowing because they're still fighting these fires, trying to get them under control to stop them causing even more damage. So far, from the number dead that we know of, that's just people being found who were out on the streets or at the harbour who were trying to escape their homes. We're now moving into phase 2 of this operation, where the rescue teams are now into recovery mode and moving into wreckage like this. That's when we expect the number of dead to increase. The shelters are also full tonight. There are thousands homeless in Maui, and I think it's important to stress that yes, there's a lot of grief, but there's also a lot of anger. These are people who are saying, we live in the richest country in the world. They're being told that they can't even shower at the moment properly because there's a concern about water contamination. They're saying they weren't given enough warning to escape their homes in time, and also that currently they're doing too much themselves. The response from the US government has not been enough, and it still is not enough.
Peter Smith in Maui. And finally, England captain Harry Kane never won a trophy during all his years at Spurs. Tonight, after signing a 4-year deal with Bayern Munich worth around £90 million, he came very close, but it still wasn't to be, as Chris Scudder reports.
Here we go.
Wearing white tonight, but not the lily white of his long-time home Spurs. Here was the England captain coming on for new club Bayern Munich just hours after leaving home for Germany. The fans were already clamouring for his introduction in the German Super Cup. But not so super for Spurs, who lose their record goal scorer to pastures new.
I wanted to be the first to tell you Tottenham fans that I'll be leaving the club today. Sad to be leaving a club I've spent nearly 20 years of my life at, from an 11-year-old boy to a 30-year-old man.
Kane had been at Spurs since joining as a kid 19 years ago, before maturing into their greatest ever goal scorer. The fans will surely miss him.
Well, basically, it's just very sad, really. It's broke my heart. I wish him all the best. I hope he gets every trophy going, I really do.
And that is what it came down to. Legacy. At 30, he's never won a major trophy. Bayern are serial winners, and here was the chance to win something on his very first night. Except he brought them instant bad luck. Bayern were on the end of a rare beating at the hands of Leipzig. For many, he'll be forever Spurs, but nothing lasts forever, and this is home now. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
And that is it from all of us here on the Weekend Team. Thank you for watching. Good night.
First thing today will be lovely and warm, and by breakfast time it could be on the sunny side. Heinz tomato ketchup, no added sugar and salt, sponsors ITV National Weather.
Hello again. Hope you're all keeping well. So it's a changeable setup as we go through the next few days or so. We've still got low pressure close by on Sunday, bringing a mixture of sunshine and showers. And then you can see later on, I've got this system here. It's travelling its way from west to east, bringing outbreaks of rain through Sunday night and into Monday. But then once that clears out of the way, we've got high pressure trying to build. And if things go to plan, we will be seeing some drier and warmer conditions from the middle part of the week. Now, in the meantime, Sunday morning itself does get off to a mixed start to the day. Sunny spells and showers across the UK. And some of these showers could still be on the heavy side across parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland. But for most of us, we'll get to see more in the way of sunshine as we go through the day. And with those winds lighter than what they were on Saturday, well, it will be feeling a little warmer out there. Highs of around 23 degrees. 23 is 73 in Fahrenheit. Then looking at further ahead, once we get Monday's rain out the way, well, plenty of fine weather to come, and it will be turning rather warm too. Bye-bye.
Heinz tomato ketchup, no added sugar and salt, sponsors ITV National Weather.
Whatever the weather, it always feels like home. Valent Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hello there.
Very good evening to you. Some sunshine to start today and quite pleasant in the sunshine too, but the showers did eventually develop through this afternoon, and some of those showers have been quite heavy and blustery at times this afternoon as well. It's all thanks to low pressure just anchored to the west of Scotland. It continues to feed in this westerly flow, and the winds I suspect through tomorrow will be a bit lighter, and actually that means for most of us tomorrow where we do see any showers, they could stick around for a little bit longer and just take a while to clear through. So I suspect it's back to the same story of sunny spells and scattered showers tomorrow, but tonight the showers are fading. There'll be some clearer spells. The winds are a little lighter as we head towards dawn, and where you do see the clear skies tonight, you might get an opportunity to see the Perseids meteor shower. Could be up to near enough 90 meteors in the hour. Now, as we go through tomorrow, there could be some clear spells at first, but again, there's some sunshine and then again a scattering of showers. Some of the showers still on the sharp side, but like I said, not as gusty as this afternoon, and top temperatures around 21 to 23 degrees Celsius, 73 in Fahrenheit. Wetter as we start the new working week on Monday with some heavier bursts of rain, but turning a bit drier, brighter and warmer as we go through the rest of the week. I'll have more on that tomorrow. Good night.
Valent Heat Pumps and Boilers sponsor ITV London Weekend Weather.